Hello Cub fans, this is very special correspondent to View from the Bleachers, Seymour Butts. I recently attended my 13th consecutive Randy Hundley Cubs Fantasy Camp in Mesa, Arizona. I took my GoPro along and want to share the experience with you. I'm here at Sloan Park in Mesa, Arizona, the spring training home of the Chicago Cubs. For 1 week each January, it is also home to the Randy Hundley Cubs Fantasy Camp. Randy was the catcher for the Cubs from 1966 to 1977, with a few years in the middle played with other teams. Randy was the inventor of the fantasy camp in 1982. Most all of the major league teams have copied his ideas, and many other sports and non-sports now have fantasy camps as well. Mornings start off with a 9 a.m. meeting where the former major leaguers who will be our coaches hold court. There are stories from their playing days and from the day before his contests, where it is pointed out over and over that somebody saw something they had never seen in 40 years of baseball. Present on this day are coaches Lee Smith, Bobby Howry, Gary Matthews, Bobby Dunier, Todd Huntley, Mike Remlinger, Rick Russell, Tim Stoddard, Ed Lynch, Randy Hundley himself, Jose Cardinal, Willie Wilson, Pete Lecoq, Ron Coomer, and Glenn Beckert. After a daily stretching session, it's time to toss the ball around.
Morning warm-ups.
Then you get to practice catching fly balls. No fungo shots here. The pitching machine serves double duty.
I do not know. Okay, shit. We got third line again?
Yeah, we're trying.
Okay.
Oh, son of a bitch. Low hand. Iron hand. Hit you in the wrong spot? Right above?
Then we move to infield practice. Here the coaches do use fungo bats and make you sweat picking up rollers and liners.
Yo.
One of my coaches this week was Ray Burris, who spent parts of 7 of his 15 major league seasons with the Cubs. He calls me over to discuss fielding ground balls.
I'm just saying, you're anticipating the ball being hit to you. I see that ball and I'm reading the speed of it. I'm going to get it set up a little quicker. Even though you've hit the 7, you're smart. You can use that experience.
Thank you, sir.
That'll help you. Believe me. You'll be in a better position to field. And now what does that do? It allows me to get my feet working in the direction I'm throwing the ball.
Thank you.
My other coach this week was Ron Coomer, a Chicago native who played for the Cubs in 2001 and is currently doing the Cubs radio broadcast with Pat Hughes.
What do I have to do?
What do I have to do to get a Lizzie?
Thank you. Try to get Lizzie's.
Yeah. We try to get Lizzie's.
We try to get Lizzie's, but it has
Good luck, Lizzie.
Yeah.
In camp, a pitching machine is used. There are many advantages to this, not getting hit by a wild pitcher who has less control than he thinks he has being foremost. There are also no walks and no called third strikes.
How many games you go to, Doc? It's about the year.
Is that it?
My cage at home is a cheap substitute for the real thing, but it does help with the timing.
That was a decent one.
Right, the key is, our theme today, stay back and let your hands do the work. Freedom of thought, freedom of swing. Roll your wrists and do your thing. He's practiced that.
Yeah.
He's practiced that. I'll let you say it.
All right, Reverend.
I'll say it. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Freedom of thought, freedom of swing. Roll your wrists and do your thing. Let's go!
Then we get on to the games. It's a pair of 7-inning games daily. Here's a little action from the field.
Over. And that's 3. Same thing, different day. Ooh, smell that? Hey, Comer, he's 6, right? So I'm not going anywhere.
You won't get a hit every time.
Fucking A.
And sometimes you'll get a Texas leaguer.
Counts. I guess it counts.
Absolutely. Who gives a fuck how I got there?
I believe you. Thank you, sir.
We got one down, Doc.
Okay.
All right, baby.
1 out.
And your coaches may resemble Waving Wendell a little more than Gary Jones.
What am I doing?
Like this, and then he let the ball go. Because you were about here. If Miller Doc catches the ball, then we're good.
Right.
He goes, no, and he moved right out of the way, the ball right over his shoulder.
I was kind of dead.
Yeah, you were dead. Yeah. Once he didn't catch it, then we were fine.
The practice field is slowing.
And in keeping with the spirit of the blog, this is a view from the bleachers.
It's just no guarantees. I'm just trying to hit a spot that I think is 4-seam, 2-finger down shoot.
What do you say down shoot?
Huh? The shit goes, yeah, right.
Go up in the box, up in the
If I
box.
turn it that way, that's a 2-finger up shoot. The shit goes,
You gotta tell us before you do it.
yeah, I'll tell you.
Just as long as only shit's coming from right there.
Hey, that's the only place shit gonna come from today. I didn't eat no Mexican food last night. I had salmon.
Other former Cubs I've met over the years include Ron Santo and Billy Williams. Rick Sutcliffe here with Lee Smith and Billy Williams. And Ernie Banks. And then it's time for the afternoon game.
Roll him up. Catch that ball. There we go. Very nice. Way to go, boys.
Okay, we're going to be doing a video challenge, so if you blow a call, we're going to take this thing off my head and see who was right.
Okay, you're out of here. You can't do that.
And again, we have a view from the bleachers. So in this case, the bleachers are right up front. Some of the better fielding you will see is turned in by the coaches, such as this foul ball Bobby Howery collects. In a rare defensive trip to left field, I lose my hat, but not the ball. Of course, just because you hit the gap doesn't mean you get 2 or 3 bases. They may be clogged with painfully slow runners. I got a single out of that, great. Sacrifice fly.
Good hit.
You need to be prepared to hit the dirt under certain circumstances. Mark, you look tired.
Because I am.
That works for me. There is one difference between this and real baseball, and that is the issue of hitting a ball off the pitching machine. It's a fair ball. It had not happened to my team all week, but on Friday happened on consecutive batters. Welcome to the machine. Finally, Friday afternoon comes to an end.
Good job, guys.
You are the man.
Okay. Come on.
All right, I done slapped y'all's head 5
I
times.
know. Most years we get a new coach for a couple of days. This year it was Ryan Sandberg. Saturday morning meeting goes over the plans for the day. Each team will play 1 inning in the field, and each camper gets 1 at bat. We are playing against our coaches, and they will, with little effort, routinely kick our asses.
The view from the bleachers is laying down on the grass. Reminiscent of Wrigley Field.
Have you ever had a Lizzie? A Lizzie? Have you ever had a Lizzie?
What's a Lizzie?
Real big guy.
Tell me I'm the best player you've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Like you mean it, Rhino.
This is Lori, who you get to talk to if you want to sign up for fantasy camp.
I love it to play. I cannot play catch. See a ball come. Where is it? I cannot play catch.
Time for introductions. What do you say, Randy?
See it at fun.
Take
Slap, slap, slap. Yes. And we take the infield for one last time this week. Here we come extremely close to turning a triple play. With a couple of flicks of the gloves, our week on the field comes to a close. Time to hit the grandstands. And wandering around those grandstands, you will sometimes find a long-lost friend or derelict.
Sherm pointed it to us about 5 years ago.
When I lived in Texas, I kind of lost that in the move.
Yeah, Raker and Captain Obvious.
I'll be back.
Okay. Viewfromthebleachers.com.
If you stumbled upon this film other than through View from the Bleachers, check out View from the Bleachers, the best Cub fan blog in existence. Nothing left to do but sit down and edit all of this. Cubs Fantasy Camp is the best week of my year and has been every year for over a decade. Google Randy Hundley or Cubs Fantasy Camp and you will get here, where the best time of your life begins.